Hello friends, welcome to ACE Tutorials. Today we are going to solve some problems on root locus method. Sketch the root locus for the system having g of s into h of s is equal to k divided by s into s plus 1. Given open loop transfer function g of s into h of s is equivalent to k divided by s into s plus 1. To sketch the root locus, first we need to identify the number of poles and zeros. As we know, in open loop transfer function, numerator s term will consider as a 0 and denominator s term will consider as a poles. In this problem, he has given only pole terms, that is you can see that s is equal to 0 and s is equal to minus 1. He has not given any 0 term in the numerator. So the number of poles are 2, that is number of poles are 2, that is s is equal to 0 and another one is s is equal to minus 1. Next, number of zeros is nil in this problem. Next, we know that by looking into this number of poles and zeros, poles are greater than 0, therefore the number of branches, that is capital N, is equivalent to P, number of poles, that is 2. Now next we are going to plot the pole 0 plot. On this real axis we are going to consider the pole location. The first pole location is s is equal to 0, that is at origin s is equal to 0. Then next pole location is s is equal to minus 1. Somewhere here I will show minus 1. Now two poles have shown on the real axis. Now we are going to identify the root locus path. As we know that to identify the root locus path, the condition is the odd count of poles or zeros is going to be considered root locus path, and for an even count of pole or zeros is going to be considered as no root locus path. In this you can see from right hand side, if I start to count from this point to this point, I am not having any pole or zero, that is the count is 0. 0 is an even count, therefore this part will be considered as a no root locus path. Now next, from this point onwards we are getting one pole, that is count 1. From this point to the next count we are going to consider the root locus path. Now from this point onwards we will get the count 2, that is even count. From this point to till infinity we are considering as no root locus path. Now in this way we are going to identify the root locus path. Next, now we need to know that the number of branches approaching to infinity. For that we know that number of poles minus number of zeros is equivalent to number of poles. In this we are having 2 minus and number of zeros nil, that is 0. This will be equivalent to 2 branches approaching to infinity, 2 branches approaching to infinity. Starting point 0 and minus 1 and ending point in this we can see we are not having any 0 as an end point, therefore these 2 branches are approaching to infinity, so the ending points we are going to show here that infinity. Now next, we know that when any branch approaches to infinity we need to provide an angle for that. For that we need to find angle of asymptote. angle of asymptote, and the formula we know theta is equivalent to 2q plus 1 into 180 degree divided by number of poles minus number of zeros, and the q value is equivalent to, for two angles we are going to substitute 0 and 1. First we are going to substitute 0. Here we will consider angle first theta 1 is equivalent to, and q value we are going to substitute first 0 plus 1 into 180 degree divided by number of poles are 2 minus number of zeros are nil, 0. This will be equivalent to 180 divided by 2. This will be equivalent to 90 degree. So theta 1 we got 90 degree. Next, second angle theta 2 is equivalent to 2 into, now we are going to substitute 1 in place of q, plus 1 into 180 divided by number of poles 2 minus number of zeros 0. Now 2 into 1, 2 plus 1 3, 3 into 180 divided by 2, that is 540 divided by 2 will get 270 degree. So theta 2 will get 270 degree. These are the two angle of asymptotes. Next, to draw this angle of asymptotes on the real axis, I need to consider a point that we call centroid. To find centroid, we know the formula sigma is equivalent to summation of real part of poles minus summation of real part of zeros divided by number of poles minus number of zeros. In this problem, summation of real part of poles, in this problem real part of pole is 0 minus 1 minus real part of 0 is 0 whole divided by number of poles is 2 minus number of 0 is 0. This is the real part of pole, that is s is equal to 0 I have considered, and this is the real part of second pole, that is s is equal to minus 1. This he has not given any 0 value, that is we have considered here 0, and in the denominator you can see that number of poles are 2 and number of zeros are 0. Here in this we will get minus 1 by 2, that is centroid we are getting minus 0.5. So we calculated the centroid value, that is minus 0.5. In this problem I am having two poles, so there is a chance of getting a breakaway point. We will calculate the breakaway point. To calculate breakaway point, the procedure is, first we need to find 1 plus g of s into h of s is equal to 0, and in this problem we know g of s and h of s is equivalent to k divided by s into s plus 1. By substituting 1 plus k divided by s into s plus 1 is equivalent to 0, take this LCM, s into s plus 1 plus k whole divided by s into s plus 1 is equal to 0. This term, if it comes to right hand side, it becomes 0. Then we are going to get the numerator term, that is s square plus s into 1 s plus k is equal to 0. So now we are going to find the k equation from this, that is by retaining k in the left hand side and we are taking all other s terms to the right hand side. That is, you can see that k is equivalent to minus s square minus s. Now we are going to differentiate this k with respect to s. Dk by ds is equivalent to, differentiating with respect to s means here we will get minus 2s minus 1 is equal to 0. Here we got the differentiation of k is minus 2s minus 1 is equal to 0. If I take minus common, then I will get 2s plus 1 is equal to 0. From this I will calculate the s value. 2s is equivalent to minus 1, then s is equivalent to minus 1 by 2, that is minus 0.5. Here I got one s value, that is minus 0.5. Now I need to check whether this is a valid breakaway point or not. For that I am going to consider the k equation, and in this k equation I am going to substitute this s value. If I get the k value positive, then this value is valid breakaway point. If I get the k value negative, then this s value is invalid breakaway point. Remember, to find the breakaway point, the procedure is, first I need to find the characteristic equation, that is 1 plus g of s into h of s is equal to 0, and this is the characteristic equation I got. In this and from this I am going to retain the k on the left hand side, and I am going to take in this I am going to retain the k in the left hand side, and I am going to take all s terms to the right hand side. So in this I am going to keep k in the left hand side, and I will take all the s term to the right hand side, and then I am going to differentiate this k equation with respect to s. You can see here dk by ds is equivalent to minus 2s minus 1 I got is equivalent to 0. So by taking minus common, I got here 2s plus 1 is equal to 0. Therefore I calculated the s value here. Here I got the s value minus 0.5. Now I need to check whether it is a valid breakaway point or not. For that I am going to consider this k equation. In this k is equivalent to minus s square minus s. I am going to substitute the s value what I got to know the valid breakaway point or invalid breakaway point. So for a valid breakaway point, when I substitute this value, if I am getting a positive value, then it is a valid breakaway point. If I get negative value, then it is invalid breakaway point. Here I am going to get k value by substituting minus 0.5. I will be getting 0.25. You can see I got the positive value. Therefore k is positive, s is equal to minus 0.5. Minus 0.5 is valid breakaway point. In this way we are going to find the valid or invalid breakaway point. If I am getting real values, then I am going to check whether it is valid or not by substituting in k equation. So suppose if I get the complex breakaway point, then I am not going to use this method. I am not going to substitute that complex value in the k equation. I am going to use the angle and magnitude method. That I will be discussing in other problems when I get the complex breakaway point. Now in this I got the real breakaway point. Therefore I am going to use this k equation, and I am going to substitute the s value in this k equation, and then I will be checking whether it is positive or negative. If I am getting a positive value, then it is valid. If I am getting negative, then it is invalid breakaway point. Remember, to find breakaway point, we are going to follow these steps. First find the characteristic equation, and then from that get the k equation, and then differentiate that k with respect to s. Whatever the differentiated equation you got, find the values of s, and in this case I got one value. So that one value I checked whether it is valid or invalid by substituting that value in k equation. I got an positive value, therefore this S value is an valid breakaway point. Next I am going to plot the root locus for the values what I have calculated. To sketch the root locus, here we know the starting point, we got starting point one is 0, another one is -1, and ending point here in the both the case we are not having any 0 to end, so therefore both are going to end with infinity. And then I calculated angle of asymptote, that is theta 1 is equivalent to I got 90 degree, and then theta 2 I got 270 degree, and centroid I got here minus 0.5, and then breakaway point I got somewhere here minus 0.5. Now by taking these values into consideration, I am going to sketch the root locus, and I will check whether I need to find intersection with imaginary axis or not. So here starting point is one pole is at origin, that is S is equal to 0, and the other pole is at -1. So and we know that from here to here it is no root locus path, and from here to here it is root locus, and from here to till infinity no root locus path. Now so we need to show this two pole approaches to infinity. For that first I need to provide the angle for these two poles, and here we have considered the root locus path, and we know that these two poles approaches to infinity. For that I need to provide an angle, that is angle of asymptote. To draw an angle I need to consider the point in this real axis, and we know that we got the centroid value, that is minus 0.5. I'll be considering that minus 0.5 here, centroid value minus 0.5, and I'm going to draw the two angles, that is 90 degree and 270 degree. Now by considering the centroid point, I have drawn the theta 1 angle, that is 90 degree, theta 1 90 degree, and then 270 degree, this is theta 2, I have drawn here 270 degree. Now we know that this pole will move in this direction, this pole will move in this direction, and in this problem I am getting the breakaway point, that is valid breakaway point, S is equal to minus 0.5. So centroid also I got the same point, and breakaway point also in this problem I got same. Remember, in all the problem you will not get same, in this problem I am getting same. And even you can see that the validity of the breakaway point you can check from the graph also. Always remember, breakaway point you will get only in the root locus path, and we know that when this pole moves in this direction and when this pole moves in this direction, definitely they are going to meet in between 0 and -1. So when you get some values, before substituting in k equation, you can check with the graph also that whether it is valid or not. The value what you got, if it is existing in between this root locus, then that is a valid breakaway point. Anyhow, we calculated by substituting this value in the k equation, and we got to know that it is a valid breakaway point, and that is minus 0.5 we are getting at. So minus 0.5. So at this point these two poles are going to meet, and they are going to come out, and they will move at an angle 90 degree, and they will reach to infinite destination. And one pole will move in the upward direction, and the other pole will move in the downward direction, and it will move towards to infinite path. So this is the root locus sketch I have shown in the normal sheet. The same thing you need to draw in the graph sheet by using proper scale x-axis and y-axis. We have the breakaway point and centroid at the same point, so therefore we have shown on the angle itself the locus, 90 degree locus and 270 degree locus. So this is the root locus sketch. Now in this you can see we are not continuing with the next step, that is intersection with imaginary axis. Why means you can see that in both the cases both the branches are moving, one is moving in 90 degree, another is moving in 270 degree. There is no question of deviating from this angle. So there is no question of deviating the angle and coming to the right hand side. If this locus have been deviated from its angle, then there is a chance of intersecting at the imaginary axis. So we understood that we no need to calculate in this case intersection with imaginary axis, because both the locus are going straight. One is going in 90 degree, another is going in 270 degree. There is no question of coming this locus to the right hand side. So therefore we no need to calculate in this problem intersection with imaginary axis. To comment on stability, you can see that the locus, entire locus is on the left hand of the S-plane. So therefore the system is stable. Hope you understood this problem. For more such videos, like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.